You're listening to the Deadly Uncle Podcast,
a safe space for deadly uncle conversations. Hey everybody, I hope you are ready for today's episode. Today we've got Jason Bourgeois from Prince George, British Columbia.
He is founder of the Sober Homies, which actually feeds a lot of the homeless and does a lot of community work. And I just heard that there was a documentary that was made on what the Sober Homies do, and it got nominated at one of the film festivals here in Canada.
That is so awesome. They do great work, and Jason is also a writer, so you're going to want to, stick around and check it out because he's going to read a little bit of his poetry and tell you a little bit about his journey.
Originally from Prince George, BC. I've been in Edmonton for half my life. My childhood was a little unstable and unfortunate. My mom was an alcoholic. My dad wasn't around. I was in foster care by the time I was 3, and I was bounced around a lot more than usual, and kind of created some self-esteem, low self-worth, abandonment, neglect issues, and stuff like that, which translated into some pretty I wouldn't say serious, but noticeable behavior problems when I was younger. I noticed that any attention was good attention at a young age, and I was always that kid that was always acting out, bullying, and I got in all kind of shenanigans when I was younger. I actually had to see a psychologist in elementary school because I was acting out so much. They thought I might have had FASD or ADD or ADHD or PCP or DVD or MP3.
Whatever the hell they labeled you at.
They're total labels today, yeah, for sure.
But I had a bit of a rough start, and it was like I said, unstable. I didn't really feel grounded or safe a lot of the time. So I feel like I always felt like I was less than when I was walking to a room. I always put myself lower than everybody else because I didn't have a normal traditional upbringing with mom and dad and the white picket fence in the house and all that stuff. So,
and so when you went to school, was it mostly with Indigenous or was it mixed?
I think it was, this is up in Prince George. I think there was mostly Caucasian, but there was Indigenous children out there. I don't know where to go from here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there with that question. But
So you were growing up in Prince George, and you were starting to go to school. That's where we're at now. So I'm going to recap where I'm at so I can understand. And you were going to school in like a public school with non-Indigenous and Indigenous students.
Yeah, I was experimenting with drugs and alcohol at a young age. I was bringing beer to school.
How was that presented to you? Well, tell us about. What was the first your first experience? Who presented that stuff to you?
Pull your mics forward, just so we can make sure that everybody gets
there was a bit of alcohol use with my auntie and uncle. I grew up with. It wasn't terrible, but there was drinking once in a while, and it wasn't always pleasant. But yeah, I had access to. They went on vacation one time, and they left a 6-pack in the fridge, and I brought it to school thinking I was going to be cool and. Ended up getting me and my friends buzz on in grade 3, I think, which was not average behavior, I don't think. But even smoking.
Frowned upon a little.
Even smoking cigarettes and marijuana and all sorts of stuff. I always had a bit of rebellion in me. I don't know where it came from. Just that angst against the world. They say the first 6 years of a child's life are detrimental for forming the core beliefs and how they feel about the world and how they fit in. And that was always. I didn't get it. I didn't know why I felt like not to be in a victim mindset, but at the time I was like, what the heck would I do? But it is what it is. I learned to kind of see it from a different angle now. We've all been through traumatic experiences. Our stories are different, but our feelings are the same. I think I don't use it as an excuse or a crutch anymore. I pissed my life away for a long time. I got into drugs and alcohol. At an early age, I was experimenting with hard drugs in high school. And I got addicted to crack cocaine in my early 20s, and then crystal meth beat the shit out of me for the last 10 years. I'm actually 31 months clean and sober today.
Wow.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Ooh, everybody out there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Round of applause.
Yeah, it's it's been a bit of a go. It's exhilarating and exciting, this life that I'm living now.
You wake up excited.
Yeah, I for a long time, like even when I was in addiction, I was a career criminal. I was in and out of jail most of my 20s. I thought that's what I was worth. I thought that's who I was. I created this facade, this persona out of fear and out of survival at the same time. And I was just a hurt, sad, lonely child at heart. I was just using all that drugs and jail and crime in the streets and gangs and this and that all as a distraction or defense mechanism to just put a band-aid on a bullet hole, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
That's a great line, by the way. Sorry, we're songwriters. Put a band-aid on a bullet hole? That's...
Can I ask you a question? Like, people talk about addiction a lot. Like, crystal meth. Not a lot of people know a lot about it. We see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, when people get completely to their breaking point, right? We see them on the streets, but people don't necessarily understand how you start here and end up there.
well,
You know, like
yeah,
how does that happen? If you're comfortable with talking.
Oh yeah.
about that.
Well, yeah. Like I said, I used drugs and alcohol as a way of fitting in. First, in high school, I was heavy into the weed, and then I started experimenting with mushrooms and acid. In high school, I was hanging in Prince George in the hood, and I started hanging with some pretty rough characters, and started acting up, trying to impress people, show them how hard I was and how solid and tough and cool and all this stuff. And then next thing you know, I was drinking and drinking more, skipping school, selling weed, selling other drugs. And, just slowly, I just became engulfed in that lifestyle. And, jail became a regular occurrence. I've done time in, I think, 6 different jails, 2 provinces. I haven't done federal time, but I've done probably about 5 years altogether. Just in and out, little rugby bits. 2 weeks here, 3 months there, 4 weeks here, 4 months there. The longest I ever did was 9 months solid. And, but yeah, it was just a revolving door. And it just came to a point where something inside me was just not happy. And I remember I was sitting in Churchill one day. And the only 2 phrases going through my head were, I don't like who I am. And I don't like how I'm living. And I felt like just a burden on society. I was just a zombie. I just roamed the streets with bad intentions, and I had nothing to be proud of. I was nobody to be proud of. I lived at rock bottom. They talk about rock bottom. People hit rock bottom. I lived rock bottom for months at a time sometimes. And I just became somebody that I just didn't like. Something inside me wanted to change. So something in myself believed in me, or loved myself enough to want to try and make some changes. So I have. I don't know that I have it. It's a one day at a time process. I don't want to get ahead of myself or think I got it licked, because that's when get on a pink cloud, just forgetting where you came from. And I'm one bad choice away. I'm one bad day away from being back out there.
Yeah.
And I got to keep humble and stay grounded and grateful for where I'm at today. So, but yeah. What were we talking about? What kind of story?
I was just asking you about crystal meth.
Yeah,
what led you to start using it? Because you said you were addicted to crack, and then you eventually struggled with meth for 10 years. Like for me, I've had a cousin who lost their life to meth, another cousin that lives on the streets right now because of that drug.
My brother, fentanyl.
So we're trying to, like, just for my own brain, I'm trying to understand the process of how you end up from starting on it to going to where you're into almost a psychosis.
Oh yeah, it's not a good time, I'll tell you that. I would recommend it. It just starts out as habitual, or not habitual, even social, just hanging out, getting high, flailing around, and slowly it'll just become a lifestyle. You become physically dependent on it, and that's where it gets terrifying, and it gets the damage it does to the human body and mind and spirit is just it's like nothing it's like something I have experienced, but it's like nothing I've ever seen before. It's
what would the difference be between, say, crack and crystal meth?
Oh yeah, it's I'd say crack would be the lesser of 2 evils, but I wouldn't recommend either of them.
No,
obviously. For sure.
And that's what we hear, and for people like myself and Trent and our viewers here that have never tried either one.
Yeah.
But like we wouldn't know the difference, but we hear from the
Oh, yeah.
statistics,
Yeah,
right?
it's,
So
crystal meth is a whole other ball game. It's just it keeps you awake. You got energy. It gives you this false sense of confidence and motivation and ambition, but it's short lived. It's when you've been awake for day 2 and 3, it gets pretty interesting. You start seeing things, and you start hearing things, and your mind starts going on you. And the thing about being on one is that you don't know that you're on one, because your reality is you believe what is going on in your mind, which is it's terrifying and it's saddening. And I see it on the streets all the time.
yeah. You got to wonder, like when you walk past somebody who's like they're trying to, you can see them trying to move, they're trying to walk forward, but they can't quite take a step, and they're in a like almost like a robotic
paralyzed.
thing.
It's it's hard. It's very hard to eat and even drink water and sleep on that stuff. So the brain starts to dehydrate. And you literally you get like delusional and confused and disoriented, and it's just
even up to the point of complete psychotic.
Absolutely, yeah. People can lose their minds on that stuff. It's,
wow.
Even the elasticity in your brain takes a while to get back. Even people that sober up, it takes a couple of years sometimes to even get your bearings back and to get your essence of who you are back. And it's like your humor and your creativity and your spark and your just your essence, because you're just that stuff. I think it's evil in its physical form. Like it's just people just change like that as soon as they do it. They become different people. And I don't want to get into no next level.
No, that's that gives us it gives us an idea, and it almost reminds us of our Indigenous people in their first relationship with alcohol.
Yeah,
and, how it was presented to them and stuff. And so, what led you to get to start for some of our listeners that might be curious and wondering, how do I start? The road to recovery.
Well, I think you just have to. I mean, I don't suggest getting to rock bottom, but you have to come to a point in your life where you, like I do. I go to a lot of 12-step meetings, and step 1 is admitting that you're powerless and that your life has become unmanageable. So, I mean, once you get that in your head, that's the start of it. I think the first step in change is being aware of your own bullshit. I think so. For me to admit that I wasn't in control anymore was a definite eye opener. And there's no weakness in that at all. That's actually one of the strongest things you can do is to admit that you need help. And I think you also have to find something in you that you have to love yourself and believe in yourself and think that you're worthy of a better life. I didn't have that for a long time. Like I said, I thought that's who I was and that's what I was worth. So I would, just suggest, just look in the mirror and get to know yourself and who you really are, not when you're high or drunk or don't start thinking about questions like how do you want to be remembered? What are your goals and your dreams and your aspirations and just look inside and that's what I can say on that.
When you were on that recovery journey, was there any men programs that you knew of or that you joined that helped you out?
I go to a lot of 12-step meetings, but I also, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. I'm going to give you a book of my poetry, and I created a men's group actually. I'll show you this right here. It's kind of I don't know if it's the right time and place, but
for sure, this is the right time.
This is a project that I created. It's called Real Talk. It's just I'll read you the preamble. It's just it's kind of about what we're talking about right now.
Beautiful.
It just says this was written a few years ago. I'm going to make a few edits to it. It just says there seems to be a stereotype for men these days. The attitude or belief that real men don't cry or even share their feelings is still around and prevalent. A man expresses or shares that he's sad, lonely, insecure, depressed, afraid, has anxiety, is overwhelmed, isn't confident, or shows any so-called weakness or any vulnerability. He gets seen as soft. a sissy, a wuss, or not a real man. I believe the opposite is true. Knowing that these negative attitudes and mistaken beliefs are the norm, and still being able to open up, let our guard down, and be real with each other is not only courageous, it's admirable. It shows a strength and depth of character that actually is a key ingredient in the characteristics of a real man. Before we're men, we're human beings. Black, white, Asian, Native, Métis, we're all the same race, the human race. Humans are by nature complex, emotional beings. You're probably asking, where's this guy going with all this? I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce, invite, and welcome you all to Real Talk. We are support and unity for survivors of the hard knock life. We are a poetry, spoken word, and storytelling community of like-minded people with both similar and diverse life experiences and knowledge, all with the intent to encourage, help, and heal each other. There are no charges, fees, or dues. Actually, I think we've dealt with enough charges and paid more than our share of dues. All we ask for membership is that you try to leave any negative attitudes, ego, and judgment behind, and be willing and determined to work towards personal development as well as emotional growth and improvement in yourself and fellow men. Lead by example, by no longer being part of the problem, but rather part of the solution. We as afflicted men need to encourage and push ourselves and each other to be the best men that we can be, not only for ourselves, but for our friends and family who genuinely care about and love us. My goal is for this concept to start a project that sets in motion a movement towards a much needed softening of culture among us. But for now, we'll have to settle for a few poems, an open ear to listen, some sound advice, a heart full of good intentions, and as much brotherly love as you need. Real recognizes real. You all look familiar. That, my friends, is Real Talk. We got this.
Hey,
That's awesome, bro.
right on.
Actually created
Right on, brother.
I appreciate
That
that.
is awesome,
Yes.
bro.
Yeah,
Really?
that's something I came up with in jail. I have poems about it. I was hosting it at the Salvation Army when I was in treatment for about a year. It's on pause right now. I haven't really put it's kind of just on the back burner, but I'd like to bring it back. But yeah, it's just basically trying to end the stigma that, like I said, real men. Part of being a man is being vulnerable and open at certain, when you're comfortable in a safe setting. But yeah, there seems to be that stigma that real men don't cry, or it's in music and culture and media, and I'm just trying to not change the world, but at least combat it, and I do my part to make to create connection. I think because they say that connection is the opposite of addiction. I think that's what we're longing for when we're addicted. And if you can find a group of guys, or even one or two guys, where you can really just pull them aside and be like, "Listen, man, can we sit and have a real talk? I'm kind of going through some stuff." And yeah, I think that you can save lives doing that, and you can create relationships that can be lifelong. And when you see someone else doing it, that inspires you to do it too. So I mean, I'm not trying to change the world or save it, but I'm just trying to do my part. And, that's why I'm sitting with that. And yeah, I started writing poetry in jail. I've got 24 poems finished and completed, and I'm working on getting the book published. And I have a TikTok, and I get a good response. Yeah, I like creating things, like even with the sober homies thing that I'm doing. And,
For the listeners, what is your TikTok?
So Jason B the Poet.
Jason be the poet. And I think it's no better time than any to give you a gift here after you presented us this awesome poetry of yours, and I think Real Talk is a great idea, and I really hope to see you grow this and have an actual space where you can have men come together and do this thing. It's just amazing. So here's our gift to you. You are definitely
A deadly uncle.
Thank you.
What I was gonna say, and this is real talk for you on your idea here as a project and everything. You should definitely pursue some arts grants, especially if you're sharing poetry and spoken word stuff.
Mhm.
Like you can get a grant to actually work this project. They'll give you a chunk of money to do it every week or whatever. So you can pay for a space, you can pay for yourself and your time for creating it, right? To open that space for other men that need that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's something you're interested in, talk to me after. I've written grants before, and I'll definitely give you some advice on where to get some of that moving if you want.
Absolutely, I love that. Yeah, like I said, I go to a lot of toasted meetings, and this would be something similar. It'll almost be like a sharing circle where you sit around and all guys just sit around and really just get to know each other and connect and build a family or community.
Yeah.
Just solid guys that want to heal and grow and help each other. So
That's amazing. Like we've had guests on here that want to do these things. You know, exactly what you're talking about. Get men together, you know, to express themselves in a safe place to have like a healthy conversation.
Judgment free.
You know, and that's kind of what we're doing here in this space, you know. So I really like thank you for telling us your story and that. And you know, I hope that I can get like, you know, Gregski. Garsky, sorry, I'm thinking of his name on Facebook. Garsky together.
Garth Lacombe.
Yeah, Garth Lacombe, yourself, and also Curtis Cardinal. He said, let's do TP Treats. He said, let's throw on a night where we have hockey, a bunch of men, where we just get a gym and, you know, to be active and get together and do those things.
It's funny that you said that. I was mentioning earlier about my sober homies group that I created. It's just a bunch of people in recovery that get together and we feed the homeless, and I cook a couple gallons of soup, and I got a friend that makes bannock, and we buy some pop and chips and water, ready to eat food, and we get together once a week and we go do God's service work, creative service work. And but yeah, that's what I wanted to do originally. Was I wanted sober homies to be more of a just get people together to do sports and fun and recreation stuff, because a big part of recovery is meeting new people and finding ways to spend healthy ways to spend your time.
Surrounding yourself with
so
people that are trying to do the same, right?
That's one of the biggest hurdles I think in early recovery is people, places, and things. You gotta eliminate a lot of people that are unhealthy for you. And sometimes it takes a while to see who is and who isn't. But yeah, if anybody out there is looking, it's the Edmonton Sober Homies on Facebook. It grew fast. Like it's only been going for a couple months. I got 450 people on there already.
Right on, man.
We meet every Sunday at Lucky 97. You can't miss us.
Yeah, I was gonna make it there that last time. I hope that I'm gonna make it out.
I would love to have you there.
Yeah, we'll come sing some songs.
That's exactly it too.
You know?
I know we're Lucky 97.
Yes. I was actually thinking of you. I had you in mind. I want to incorporate, like, we do just basic like food and a bit of socks and some clothing stuff, but I'd love to have spiritual warriors like yourself come and maybe like drum or sing, or you said play the flute, or also maybe we could bring some sage and get smudge and pray for them. And I think that's it. It's leaving a lasting spiritual footprint is what it's about, and making them feel human and making them feel heard and seen is really what we're here on this earth for. I think I get kind of caught up sometimes in material, superficial, earthly, worldly things, and I forget that. I got to get out of myself and get back, and it helps me with my sobriety. It helps other people. If I can be a light, or maybe bring somebody on board to recovery, or even just volunteering, or just a drop in the bucket, but it's something. I'm just trying to do my part.
Well, each drop in the bucket, even if it's not in a bucket, if it's in the ocean or whatever, so it's one little wave, right? And even if you can get 2 or 3 people that are thinking the way you are, maybe they can inspire somebody else, and maybe you create a domino effect.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing that you can ask for, is just putting those good intentions out into the universe and just hoping that your good intentions will keep moving forward through other people. And like, I was going to ask you a question. When you started in recovery and stuff, did you explore spirituality at all, and what kind of things did you do there? And was that a part of your life? And
I'm still on a journey. I grew up going to Christian, and I present day I might glance at the Bible every now and then, and I go to church once in a while, and I smudge a few times a week. I probably should do it more. I go to sweats every now and then. I'm trying to find myself that way. I don't think there's a wrong or a right. I don't think that I think we're all. I don't think it's. I think it's a very personal, intimate, private thing between me and the Creator, and your journey is yours, and mine is mine. I think we're all looking for the same thing. So, like I said, there's no right or wrong, and I'm still a toddler in recovery, and even in life till I'm almost 40. I'm still learning daily, which I think that's constant learning is how it should be. I think. Because the day that I think I know everything is I'm in trouble.
That's the day you're in trouble for sure. I think we've all faced that in our lives. Eh?
We get humbled quick, man, when we do. Yeah, for sure.
But yes, I've explored many I've been in jail for a while, and I did some readings, and I looked into Mormonism and Jehovah's Witness, and I read some of the Bible, and even mindfulness and meditation and horoscopes and all sorts of I kind of doubt. I kind of look at everything and kind of make my own concept of higher power. I pray to the Creator, God. Yeah. So yeah, just keep praying, keep reading, keep learning, keep sponging, and just do what you do. Do whatever works for you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I totally agree, and I connect with that through doing my screening for my film. They found us. It was, there was some stipulation between the church
Oh, absolutely.
between the traditional, and especially on my reserve. So I was like, my brother, he's a born again person, and myself, I'm more of a traditional person. And so on my flute, I play flute. So I played the flute, and it was a traditional song. And then I played Amazing Grace after, right?
Nice.
And I was like, my brother believes in something that I don't believe in, but we can sit at the same table, still have dinner, still be family, still have that connection, right? And it kind of, gave me that idea to start something new. And that's one of the things that we're talking about is, a safe space for, Indigenous people to pray in every major city across Turtle Island. And I just wanted to know, what do you think? Do you think that there should be a space for Indigenous people
Absolutely.
to pray? Kind of like churches and mosques and those types of things.
What's funny is I actually, the Christianity and Indigenous seems to be one or the other, or like they're different. But I actually went to this place called it was a church that you actually smudge when you go in, and then there's a church service. I can't remember the name of it. It's down right in the hood on 96, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the name of it?
I'm not sure. I know there's a church right down there, though, right by Lucky 97, just up the street. Is that what you're talking about? Like kind of a block across the park there. Then there's a church on the corner. I can't remember the name.
Sacred Heart is the name.
That's what it is.
Heart.
That's what it is.
So they have smudging, you're saying,
Yeah,
and then
it's a
you
church
go in.
service. You go in, you smudge, and then there's also a church service. So it's like to see the two
That's nice.
is like, wow, it felt odd, and it felt I've never really seen that before. There seems to be a bit of disconnect between the two. There was because of all that stuff that happened.
That was like my Kokum's funeral. Like there was people smudging and singing, and then there was a priest there as well.
Yeah.
To do his part of the service.
And that's how my mushum was like a medicine person, right? And he was a drummer, but my Kokum was a Catholic, and he says, we have children. We have 13 children. He said, whoever wants to follow my way, that's okay. But if you want to pray in your mom's way, that's okay too. Because just like you said, those prayers are going to the same,
exactly
to the same person, to the same energies. It's all, and it's just finding out why there's such a disconnect between Indigenous and different belief systems. It's a long, hard battle that we're.
Yeah, this whole another hour conversation.
Yeah, it totally is, and it inspired a new documentary. Actually, it's going to be called "In the Name of Father, Son, Grandmother, Moon," and it's going to be talking about exactly that. And we've begun in our travels, and I'm just starting to take videos of all the churches that we have in different cities, and the amount of money that must have been put into those buildings to see what they are now is just amazing. And I just hope to see that we have something similar with Indigenous people as well. So just a crazy ride for sure.
I think there's no time like the present to heal. I noticed that there is still a lot of anger and hurt and stuff from stuff that happened in the past, and it's absolutely warranted, and it's time to accept, not appreciate in a good way, but just honor it and just heal and come together and just because that stuff that happened was just brutal, and it was terrible. So I understand that there's a lot of hurt and pain and resentment and bitterness still. Yeah, I don't know how to get.
And it happened for a long time, so it's going to take a long time for everybody to heal.
It's not
And we have to
something you can
remember
just-
that, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not going to happen overnight. You know?
exactly.
Like I said, that's a whole another 2-hour talk we have.
It is, and that's why we do these things. So when real talk comes out, we'll be able to all sit together and have those things. Like I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
These type of conversations.
This is this is open. This isn't Christianity based. This isn't Indigenous. This is everyone. Like you said, everyone's welcome.
Open. Open.
That's what I'm trying to be.
That's the new way.
Yeah,
honestly, I think it
we
is.
have to.
Like our brother here, his belief system. He doesn't talk about it much, but I respect it as well.
Yeah, I'm an atheist. I grew up with an Indigenous father and a non-Indigenous mother, and my mother's a Christian. People in my family believe in traditional teachings, but I just, this is who I am, and I'm like you. These are our personal beliefs, and I respect your beliefs. I don't try to change your beliefs, and I would hope people would respect my beliefs and not trying to change mine. So that's why I don't talk about religion, because I learned a long time ago from my dad that things you don't want to talk about, especially if you're drinking. Yeah, politics, religion, money, women. Let's stay off those topics, and everybody can have a good time.
But it just is interesting that we're fine sitting here, being able to have a healthy conversation about religion, even though maybe all three of us believe in slightly different things.
Yeah.
We can still all be friends. We can still all agree to be, men that are healing.
Yes, that's
If our parents were affected by the residential school, which I'm sure all three of us are, we're healing. We're in the midst of healing. We're in the midst of finding who we are, as human beings. And like the elders say, we could live 4 or 5 lifetimes and not know our full culture.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of culture and religion and all those things, is you don't necessarily have to believe in those things to respect them or partake in them and enjoy like the tradition of it. Like I've been to a sweat lodge before. I've been to different ceremonies before, and I respect that because my ancestors did that for hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. Do I believe that everything about praying in your own way? Maybe, but for me, no. But I still respect it, and I'll still do it and honor that tradition because it's been there for since time immemorial. Yeah. And they're important things for our younger people to experience, so those things never die.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what that noise was. Oh, I think it's the dishwasher.
Oh. Or maybe we're just hearing shit. So what's next for you, man?
Yeah, what do you got going on?
I was just doing concrete for the summer. I was just laboring, breaking my back. I got laid off a couple weeks ago. I'm just enjoying some time off. Next is I like to keep working. I like money. But yeah, as far as now is the perfect time for me to really push my men's group, my poetry, the sober homies. I applied for EI, so I might take the winter to hibernate, just sit on EI and push my other stuff, work full time on that stuff. But yeah, I got goals and dreams. I got my to-do list is it's sizable. I'm constantly a couple things I have to work on is my self-discipline for my diet and my financial and my I got some stuff to work on, but yeah,
I'm with you.
This is the first time in my life that I've really been this happy and content and healthy and able to really make a push and create something or chase my goals and dreams and aspirations and stuff. So I have to really focus on what I really want to put my energy and time into. I have no shortage of ideas, projects. But yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm doing next time. Just kind of living day to day. Like I said, I do a lot of poetry and meetings and service work and volunteering in the gym, and I just stay busy doing good things.
That's beautiful.
Well, the more good things you do, the more good things that will come to you. So just
honestly, I honestly think that I'm with Trent. on, I think you belong doing this work here. You know what I mean? And I would definitely sit down with Trent, and talk about a grant to have you do this work full time. To have you, and it's not to put money in your pocket, but it's to help you be successful in what you're trying to do.
Yes,
and it's
about opening doors for other men too.
There's money out there for this, and we must take advantage as artists and as people who are writers, people who are in film, people who are singers and songwriters and those type of things, because even the elders say that we are a big part of the healing and what's next in our journey. So I would definitely make this a reality, and 100%.
Yeah, that's the logo that I want to. See this?
Show the listeners. Yes.
But, like with the sober homies right now, we're starting to make tea. Like we're all self-supporting right now. We run all ourselves. We're starting to sell T-shirts, and we're starting to knock on doors to get partnerships and stuff with stores to alleviate some of the financial stresses. But yeah, I could put that on a T-shirt. I could build a men's group. Like I could turn it into something. Like it would be a weekly meeting where we all meet together and we all just do what we do. It's much like this.
Yeah.
And it could be, it could be a sharing circle or a meeting format, or it could be just.
And you already have the vision, so actually, when you apply for a grant, you're just basically writing down what you just said and say, "This is what I want to do, and this is what it's going to cost me." I need to rent a space once a week for this many weeks or whatever, right? And there's money out there to allow you to do that. And I mean, you might as well take advantage of it, because if you're sharing poetry and you're sharing stories, I mean, that's a huge part of Indigenous storytelling is a huge part of our cultural traditions, and that, that'll qualify you for other grants to do with that type of thing, because you're helping people heal. So, I mean,
even us sitting here with our guests, I feel like it's a healing hour for us.
And we got to actually give a shout out to Edmonton Arts Council, because they made this podcast possible. They gave Curt a grant to develop this podcast. I've been helping him with it since the start. And without that initial input of money, we wouldn't have been able to do all this.
Yeah, exactly. And without them being there, this wouldn't have been possible. So yes, thank you for thanking them, and thank you for coming on, man.
You want if I end with a poem for you guys?
No, I would love that.
All right.
That'd be awesome.
I wrote this one in jail. It's kind of a prayer / conversation between me and the guy upstairs. This one's called The Talk. Dear God, can we talk? I feel weary and pained. I need the warmth of your grace, cold and wet from the rain. I'm 39 years old. So far, it's been a rough go. I've made a fortune doing wrong and have only scars left to show. I sit and I read the last 20 years of my story. I really messed up, Father. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. You say it takes pain to make you appreciate life's pleasure. I've spent enough time feeling worthless. Can you please help me feel treasured? On account of my guilt, I feel our relationship has been broken, as though we are father and son. It's been so long since we've spoken. I got lost in the past life. So many places I've roamed. Like the prodigal son, I feel unworthy. Father, I want to come home. I know you're there waiting. I want so bad to embrace you. Please give me strength and humility and courage to face you. You are pure love and forgiveness. I need not fear your hand. Father and Son, forevermore. My hand in yours, and I stand. Amen.
Hey, woo! Awesome. Some good writing. I think I heard about 10 songs in that.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Dude.
Yeah, you're a deadly uncle.
Thank you. Yes, right there.
Awesome.
Right, guys.
You're listening to the Deadly Uncle Podcast,
a safe space for deadly uncle conversations.